Good morning all. I'm doing this lovely job in the X5. This upper control arm I am going to take out. Now one thing they don't tell you is on one side of the X5 you'll have to take the inner liner off, and on this side I'd say it's not as bad, but it's pretty bad. So this is a UK car. So on the passenger side, obviously you have to take the cowling off, then you have to take the air filter out, then you have to take this fucking thing out, which is great because it's just like a clip mechanism similar to a glass bottle. Then you have to take the ECU box out. And then you can access a bolt similar to this under there, which lets you take the control arms out. Now on the other side it's not that difficult. This side is, now once I get the top of this off, did I even seal it? Sorry. Bear with me a second. So, after you take the clips off the top of the ECU box, you should be able to lift the top of the ECU box away. He says. Once you've done that, obviously you have your ECU. You need to then slide all these rubber grommets out, or these rubber seals out. Then you can move the ECU here. Once you've done that, you have to remove a shitload of these fucking screws, 5 of them, from the back of the box, because they're mounted to the firewall. Once you've removed those screws, then you can take the entire plastic casing out so you can access said bolt on the back of this side of the strut. And with the ECU here, there's plenty of space to get that box out. As I said, those screws would be in those holes holding this in the firewall, but once they're out you should be able to shuggle this thing out of its hole, giving you plenty of space to do the necessary job. Now obviously when I was looking online I didn't find a video that explained this much, so I had to figure it out myself. One sec. Right, now once you have that out, you will then see the necessary bolt there. It's probably a good time to clear all this out. I found shitload of leaves and dirt and everything, so make sure it's all clean. Might prevent corrosion and God knows what else in the future. So now we can get basically started after making such a big bloody mess. So the easiest way to do this is loosen the bolts on both sides. Right? Loosen, I say. Take this off. Now the reason I say take your anti-roll bar drop link off is because unless you're fucking He-Man, putting this back into there later is going to be really difficult. So just pop it off, and if yours is absolutely fucked, get it replaced anyway, they're cheap. Then obviously drop your strut, because it makes it a lot easier getting them bolts out. So those 3 bolts, put a small jack under your strut and you'll be able to wiggle those bolts out no problem. Right, so now that this is out, you got to take this nut out. You can use a 16 mil or a 5/8. That's probably the closest you're going to get. Now obviously that was quite easy to take off because I've already jet the car up partly on there to compress the spring and everything, to make everything easier to come out. I've already loosened that nut and that nut. Now all you have to do with your common sense is put one spanner there, one spanner on the inside, and then start loosening it. Oh yeah, then maybe a good time to take or unbolt the top mounts. So there you have it, it's out. The only thing that you find annoying about it is you'll be using a lot of quarter turns to get things out. So this is the new unit, it's a Melee HD part. So this is obviously the new one, it's got a grub screw in it. Now this looks like you can adjust the camber if you don't have the grub screw. Now there's the old part. Now obviously the idea is you make sure you match them up, so eyelet is here, eyelet is here, this is pointing up, this is pointing up. 0 degrees camber and everything should line up perfectly. So it should be just a drop-in part. Obviously tighten those up, but it's easier to tighten it in when it's in there. Right, so get to this stage. So we put it in, ignore my Allen key. So the bolts are in, they're not actually bolted up because they need to be tightened when the car is at rest. Now you can see this is quite level because I set my rest point based on the ARB. If the ARB's drop link slides in normally, that would suggest that BMW calls this the rest point. Now it's probably quite close actually, so yeah, if it was a lowered car, you'd tighten these up at a different rest point. But because this car is stock ride height, I'm just going to go with the rest point of the drop link. So yeah, let's bolt this all together and go from there. But it's nice and easy. Right, so all done. Now it's just a case of taking it for a drive and make sure everything's fine. And obviously button everything back up. As I said, on the UK cars, the passenger side with the ECU is probably the hardest area. The driver's side is a piece of piss, to be honest. The bolt for that one is hidden down there, as you can just about see, and the other one is under this box as well. But same process, you know. For me though, I had to take the front arch liner off because I was having other complications, but you shouldn't need to do that. Well, I'll tell you why. Right, basically the bolt behind here, yeah, to put the bolt on up top is quite difficult, so I took the arch liner off and I was able to put it on really easy. That's why I took the front arch liner off. But yeah, anyway, all done. Have a good day.